So 94% of our third graders meet or exceed, compared to 76% of the state. 82% of the fourth grade meet or exceed, compared to 73. You can see that we're plus 10 in the sixth grade. The fifth grade was, I think, I want to say plus 1 in the reading, and then minus 7 on the math. The seventh grade was the one that was minus 15 in the reading, also a little bit behind in the math compared to meet and exceeds. Eighth grade, right on with the state, and then 11th grade just a little bit behind the state average. One of the things that's neat with the 8th grade too, I think a lot of those scores, we had 33% partially meet, and a lot of those are really, really close. One of the things too is all these scores went up this year, and part of the reason for that was because they were able to take the math test 3 times, and each of those times that they took it, it counted. Not to mention the ones that didn't meet or exceed, which, if you look here, I think one of the things that held us back was we had a high number of meets, but not a lot of exceeds, because last year, once we got to the meet category, the students didn't have to take that math test again, and we focused on the students that hadn't met it with the remediation, which helped us in this department here when we meet and exceed. So last year they were able to take the math test 3 times. If they passed it one of the 3 times with the meet, then they were good to go. The state has decided to change that this year. You still get to take the math test 3 times. It's not the MCA test except the last one. The other 2 are called OLPA, O-L-P-A, which stands for, it's like a practice assessment test that you can use. You're going to get a score from that. The state won't tell us that it's an MCA score. They'll say we'll get a score and be able to hopefully determine success on the MCA test with that score. It's kind of, because it is new and it's a change, I think it's kind of misleading how the state is doing that. We don't know what they're going to do next year, but for this year we're going to get 2 practice tests. We're going to really focus on the kids that, just like last year, that don't meet or exceed, and then hopefully that'll continue to improve our math scores.
Are they using new testing then?
The OLPA test comes from the same test bank as the MCAs, but the score won't be the same as the MCAs, from what I understood when I talked to the test coordinator of the Department of Ed.
Are they going computerized testing then, or?
They'll all be computerized for the math, yeah.
And is that new this year?
I think they did. Did you guys do that last year here?
Yeah.
The math computerized? Yep.
Math is all online.
And the sad part about that is it's online, and we don't get the results a lot sooner than we get them. So.
Yep, you got them quick within 2 days when they had it last year.
So, any other questions with the math, as far as we are right now? All right, we'll go on to the breakdown of special ed. Elementary math right on target. The special ed secondary is growing, so our special ed areas have both grown in that regard in the math department. Free and reduced right along with the state. We're right behind the purple line, so we're dead even with the state there. And then free and reduced secondary, again, a growth in the math, so that's good to see. EL with elementary math, a dive again. Number of students might be an indicator of that, or it might be students moving to the high school. It's really tough to tell when your scores can be so volatile with the few numbers that we have. But the teachers all have individual student scores, and they're able to break that down and determine which students are progressing and which ones are going backward or maintaining. And then the EL secondary. So if you look at those 2, for example, that 1 or 2 students might have went from the elementary here, from this year to this year, and then, or to the secondary, excuse me, and now that brought our score up here. Any questions on that? Need a glass of water. Nothing? And that is all I have. So I took over the harassment letter, correct? Yep. Thank you.
I saw in the paper you had some numbers that you gave at open house about PBIS. Can you kind of tell the board how that is and how it's going so far?
Sure. numbers, I think I had that.
It was 1,000 or something, it's not.
1,000 tickets so far, is it for Blacksburg, maybe?
Oh, yeah. And you can see,
45 Bulldog Barks,
okay.
prizes have been given.
You can see the blue tickets right there. Those are from, I don't know if you can see the black line from here, but that's the month of September. We'll continue to track that. The elementary gives out quite a few more than the high school. One of the ways we're going to try to remedy that is the high school's been asked to put a container in their room. So I think a lot of the students, talking to the high school students, a lot of them are saving up coupons, so then they put 100 of them at a time. They think they got a better chance of winning, which they do, but and I think some of them have lost their tickets already and things like that, so they don't at the same time. But yeah, so we've given out quite a few tickets. What we do for the tickets is the small tickets are given out for things that the students are expected to do. Turn in homework, getting their planners signed, sometimes come to class on time, just reinforcing that behavior that we're expecting them to do. And the teachers are able to give those out at will and whenever they want. We have thousands of rolls of tickets, so we're just giving those out. And then we do a drawing each week for that stuff. The prizes for that are very minimal prizes, either donations or Powerades or Gatorades or chips that we got from Marsden from the cookout, just different stuff like that, little toys and things like that the students are able to pick out of a tote that we phone them and play some music, and they come to my office and do that. The Bulldog Barks are given out for bigger things. Generally, those are given out for something that a student does to another student, or for another student, I should say. Holding doors, helping students that drop their books, helping another student in a class that's struggling. Those are some of the reasons that those have been given out. And then each month we're going to do a drawing for that. Last month we gave out, I have some prizes at the end of the hallway by the cafeteria in the trophy case. You'll see some of those if you walk down there. So the elementary was able to pick out of that trophy case. The high school was given gift cards. We gave away a $20 gift card. We gave away 4 $5 gift cards, and we gave away a season pass for home games to a student. So they're really excited. Even the high school is pretty excited about that. That was one of the concerns we had. But, like I said, they're saving them up because they know the prizes. And some of the prizes we gave away early were, I think it was $10 gift cards and different things like that were hidden in the tote that I had. Because some of the high school students I saw came in and just grabbed the top thing that they saw, and so I put some really good prizes at the bottom. And now they run in there and they try to get to be first in line so they can be the first one to pick, and then they get through the bottom. And usually there's 1 or 2 good prizes, really good prizes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to try and get you some of those movie passes that our task force puts together, so you can put that in the parks.
Sure, and I talked to the Booster Club, and we're getting some clothing items donated from them for that as well. So
It's cool.
A lot of good things. We're doing a fundraiser, and some of that money will go toward getting some of those nice prizes for the kids.
Activities Director, Mr. Johnson.
We are winding down the fall regular season. Congratulations first to the boys cross-country team. They were repeat conference champions, running with Mayor Luther. Currently, the football team is ranked number 1 in the section, but there is a there's a tenth of a point difference between us and number 2. So depending on what happens on Wednesday, we could flip-flop spots, and that's what we've been doing every week. 1 week will be 1, and it's ACGC Atwater Cosmos Grove City is 2, and then the next week we'll flip because they play a double-A schedule. They play all bigger schools in their schedule, and I believe this week it might even be a 3A school, so even that much bigger. The only difference would be if we were 1, we would have a bye that opening round of playoffs. If we're 2, we would host, and the first game then would be October 23rd. Volleyball currently is number 6 in the section, and if that holds true to form, we would not have to play an opening round game, and we would not play until October 24th, that Wednesday.
So if we're ranked 2nd, then we would play on October 23rd.
Correct.
If not, then it'd be Saturday,
Right, then it would be that Saturday, the 27th. So like I say, after Wednesday, we'll know for sure where both teams will be. The girls' seeding is due on Wednesday, so I'm hoping by Wednesday afternoon, we'll know where the girls are at too. For coaching, still have openings, junior high girls basketball, ninth grade girls basketball. Right now, we have 10 games on the C-Squad girls schedule with a tournament, so it puts us at 11 dates. We have 2 contracts for the winter season that are still out that have not been returned yet. And the last thing, I have been approached by both students here at Lester and over at Holy Trinity about the possibility of getting a golf team together. I had a couple kids approach me last year. I think they were just kind of seeing what the possibilities would be. There've been a few more this year, and I know it would be hard to make a go on our own. I guess the possibility, if the possibility was there, we'd probably look at a co-op of Mayor. They use Shadowbrook as their home course. I think that would probably make the most sense for us. I did talk a little bit with their AD. He said he'd probably be open to it. They have 23 boys that come out for golf, so they have a pretty big number already. And he said, you know, there's 6 spots on varsity, 6 spots on JV. So he said most of those kids are just out because they get to play golf every day. So I guess what I would ask the board to consider is the possibility of moving forward with that. Obviously, nothing has to be done tonight, but you know, when we get into winter season, before that spring season starts, to the possibility of putting it out there, seeing what the numbers might be, you know, to see if we can get a few more kids involved in something. That would be all I have for tonight.
Mr. Johnson, how many are really interested, or how many?
I've had 5 kids approach me, so like I say, it's not a huge number, you know, and I'm not sure how many kids know. I mean, you know, these are the kids that have just come to me. If we put a sign up, would we get more? I'm not sure.
I got a question.
Yep.
Yes.
What do you do, like, since they won the conference in
Mhm.
cross-country, we have something that they'll get a trophy or a plaque?
Yep, there's a trophy in the
You guys,
office
each
right
school
now.
get something then?
Last year, Mayor kept it. This year, we get the trophy, and then the Herald Journal, we'll talk to them about putting another year on the banner in the gymnasium, so. Yep.
Facility Supervisor, Mr. Euchre.
As you can see right there, Dave's kind of highlighted just the general part on what's going on. Most of it, again, is just right now the process is they're fine-tuning all the controls and the heating and so forth, and that's been the biggest thing. And of course, that's what we want to do in October because it's cold, warm, so we're having some getting that all straightened out. I think you said the locker plates, yeah. Getting those coming out on Thursday, try to get those over, of course, when the kids are gone. That paint is holding up real well so far, but obviously some kids like to really play with that lock on it, which can bring out the paint. We redid the gym floor. With all the dust was in there, and the specialist guy came and said, when they did that one time, they got just too much dust. There was still too much dust in there, so they redid it here. It was about 2 weeks ago, Sam?
About 2.
Yeah, and then from what I got from the gym teachers who I see every day, they said, yeah, it's been much better than it was. So.
Yep, and the volleyball team has made that comment, too,
Yeah.
that it's much better than
They
what it was.
just stripped and got all that stuff out of there, and it's like,